Hi friends, let us see how we can use the Business Application Studio for building UFA applications. So I'll be teaching you on the real time. So how we can go with. So first, I just entered into the link and I have created a workspace like it is called as a dev space here. And then once it gets created, I hope you know this process. You might have Google for how to create a dev space. I am not interested in all those things. I'll just start the workspace and I'll enter into the Business Application Studio, and I want to explain you how we can use or create the applications. Okay, so first you have to understand that Business Application Studio is on the BTP, so Business Technology Platform, okay, from SAP. So it's a cloud-based. Now on the cloud-based, this BAS can be accessed. Okay, and now there are few things like once the OData service get created on the BTP, that we can access. So this is all done by the BTP engineers, and then we are going to access that. Now once the Business Application Studio workspace is in the running mode, you can start that. You can click on the link which you have created. Now once it gets opened, you have to connect to the Cloud Foundry. So that is the proprietary of SAP's cloud. So they have licensed the Cloud Foundry. We don't have a Neo environment now. We have only a Cloud Foundry, which is a commercial one. Okay, this is given by the client. Okay, this has to be purchased. Now what I want to do is that I will start fresh. So when you have logged into the Business Application Studio, you are going to enter the Git username and Git password. Now, please understand that you have to make use of the Git repository. Okay, so if you don't know how to use the Git repository, how to connect to this Git to this, there will be a separate session which I am going to explicitly tell you. Now, please understand that I found some, less videos on Business Application Studio. Most of them work on the Web IDE, but in the future, Web IDE might not be there. You should come to the Business Application Studio only. And for the beginners, this tool will be slightly, uncomfortable. It will take some time. Okay, I cannot guarantee like months, but it like a week or two. If you continuously work on the Business Application Studio, then the interface you can be comfortable on, because this interface is built on the Visual Studio. Okay, there's a reason it will be slightly deviating your work experience, but this is the tool for the future. Okay, you have to build the customized UFA applications on this. Okay, there are different working environments here. There are some configurations part which we can be talking in the coming videos. So time being, I don't have any Git repository. I'll just click on the escape button on the keyboard, so which it goes off. Now this is the interface. What you're seeing is the interface. There's already a project here. Okay, now you have, when you're starting the application, you have to start from the file and the new project from template. Okay, and there will be a separate workspaces where you can access your applications or the projects that again you will be getting hands-on when you're working on it. Okay, so the features are slightly different from the Web IDE, though the coding part will be same, like how you are writing the code in the controller or the view. That will be similar, but the interfaces will be slightly changing. Okay, you should connect the Cloud Foundry. Okay, so you can see a branch coming here, a blue strip coming here, which you are working on that particular Cloud Foundry login, which I have already logged in. Now other thing is that in the Web IDE, you might have deployed the application to the Cloud Foundry, or if it is a personal edition on your local machine, or to the ECC system which is connected. Okay, where the transport of your EFI components go on in the backend. Okay, from development to quality. But if it is the Web IDE commercial edition, online edition, it would have been like on the BTP. Deployment will be on the BTP, but it is also, what do you say? slide, I mean, moving on to the deprecation mode. So the current business application studio model, where you have to, create a multi-target application. It is called as a MTA application, multi-target application. When you create a multi-target application, you are going to deploy that multi-target application or MTAR file, and that you're going to move it from the BTP, from one environment to another environment, development to quality and quality to production. So that is the component where you have to move your changes. Okay, so all those things we are going to see now by building a simple application. I'll be concentrating on more on the smart related controls. Okay, smart tables, smart kind of thing, which I will try to make use of the demo kit. Also, moving from the web ID to the business application studio, you should be using the Fiori elements little bit a lot, okay, or annotations, because they are the future development components. Okay, so you should be slightly coming out of your custom experience where you are using a normal table or a grid table. Okay, so you should be coming out of that, and you should move on using to the smart controls and annotations, all those things, because when it is the BTP cloud, it is also, you should understand that the backend won't be a ECC or a normal ABAP. It will be ABAP on cloud or CDS HANA on cloud kind of thing, and the data services also will be generated from the backend on the cloud to the BTP. Okay, that you are going to access. So all these things will be on a higher scale. So scalability of the application should be in parallel with your BTP. Okay, so that is where the main criteria comes. So this is the discussion which I'm giving is little bit less only, even if it is more what you say, because it is all on the BTP, which you should be now adapting to this new tool. Okay, so let us start with a simple application. So you should keep in mind, you should first start creating file project from template, and here you should first select the multi-target application. Okay, that MTAR. Okay, first you should create that. Before creating a Fiori application, you should have the multi-target application, and you will be noticing that I told you, like, it is the tool is slightly you should have a little bit of patience. Okay, because few things open a little bit slow. Sometimes during coding also, what happens, like there can be a disconnection happening. You should refresh your browser. So these kind of things you will generally face, though it will be like irritating in the starting, might be getting frustrated, because as a developer you don't go on looking at the things, but you should get adapted to that till SAP fixes all those issues as well. Okay, because it's a very new tool, it's a newborn baby kind of thing. Okay, so first you have to select the basic multi-target application. Okay, so when you click on this basic multi-target application and click on the start button, you have to enter a project name. So as this is like a demo, for example, so what I'll do, I'll just say Z demo app 1 and click on finish. Okay, now when I click on finish, you can see on the left side, sorry, it restarts, I mean enters into the Z demo app workspace. That a workspace will be opened for you. So always better you work on different workspaces particular to your application only. So that will help you a lot. I'll tell you what all those things are. So there is an open editors here. You can right click on that, you can hide it, or you can uncheck this one so that it gets closed. And I'll little bit zoom this tool so that you can see clearly. Now you can see there are two things, git ignore and mta.yaml. mta.yaml is an important file to you. So first time when you're listening to it, it's a YAML file. Forget about the full forms, everything. I'll discuss that later. Just you go on practicing that names. So YAML, we call it as YAML in a very fast sense when you speak. So mta.yaml file. Now nothing will be there. It's very clear. Only 3 lines of code is automated there. Now right click on the YAML file and click on create MTA module from template. So please understand, we're creating a Fiori application only, but these are the preliminary steps where before creating a Fiori application, you have to create this one. Now, you have to select the app router configuration. Okay, this is important step. You should not jump into Fiori application. This is the second step will be app router configuration. Why all those things we'll discuss, because the navigation happens using this managed routers only. Again, that is a separate topic, little bit out of the world you have to think about when you are working on the BAS studio. So you should come out of the box. It's not little bit different from the WebID tool project application template creations. Okay, so let it be a managed app router. Enter a unique name for the business solution of the project. So this is important as well. Again, so you can give something like z demo app dot service, anything you can put there name. And do you plan to add a UI? Yes, I'm going to add a UI to this. UI in the form of Fiori application. Okay, that is why you just need to give that as yes. Click next, and you can see that in the YAML, some more code is added. Okay, a lot of code or few more lines of code got added. So it's not touch all these things. Just let it get auto generated. Now if you see, yeah, now there is some like security.json file got created. Okay, just again keep it apart. Again, right click on the mta.yaml file. Again, click on the create mta module from template. Now we should be creating a Fiori application. So again, two things: Fiori application in a freestyle form, in a Fiori element form. Two things will be there in the Fiori application. So click on that, click next. Yeah, now you can say Fiori elements. Fiori elements will be like list report, work list, analytical list page, overview page, form entry, object page. Now understand that all these 3, 4, 5 templates contain only annotations. There won't be any view or any controller. And try to understand that if you are working on the view code or controller code, you should not choose these Fiori elements or these Fiori elements. If you choose this and move further, you are going to work on the annotations part only. Remember that annotations are directly linked with the OData services, nothing to do with your view code or the controller code. Okay, so I will be showing you that projects also, how to create annotations. Okay, so when you are at the annotations level, you should be at least like not a fresher in the UI5 or Fiori applications. Okay, you can practice that, but you should be a little bit more ahead. Okay, a client who is looking for a guy developer working on annotations will expect that he already worked on the normal Fiori UI5 freestyle applications. Freestyle means like your view or your controller where you are already worked on the code part. Okay, might be like 6 months experienced or 1 year experienced kind of thing, but at least you should know that. 3 months experience also not a problem, but annotations when you're selecting, that means you should have at least a lot of knowledge using the annotations. Okay, so that we'll discuss later. Okay, that annotations will be a little bit higher level after your smart controls. If you know how to use smart tables and smart filters, then you are ready to use the annotations in your project. When you're using annotations in your project, you should understand that you should continuously, it's a continuous development. Okay, providing continuous solutions based on the OData services. Clear? Next. So let us just forget about this. In the drop down, you have to go with your UI5 freestyle. Now this UI5 freestyle will be work list, master details or list detail, UI5 application. So these things are there. Okay, you already worked on the work list applications or a normal UI5 application with a single view, or work list application with dual views. You can start your application development. Here you can have the views and the controller experience, as if you are coming from the Web IDE or from the Eclipse background, you will have all those things. Okay, so let us select UFA application where you have a single view and a single controller. You can click on the next. Now this will connect to the data sources. You have to definitely connect to a system which your BTP administrator already configured the backend services. So when I say backend, no, it can be ECC or it can be a cloud SAP systems. Okay, so in the dropdown, I'll select connect to a system. Now this details will be given to you by your BTP administrator. Okay, so those who definitely are does not have any any BTP or working for a client, they just want to use the business application studio for practice sake. Okay, for them what you can do, you can just select a connect to a OData service. Okay, and you can use the SAP OData services there. For example, if I just select OData service, I already have a OData service like this with the user ID and password. So this link sap.es5.sapdevcenter.com, this will be given by your SAP provider. Okay, so you can just enter that URL and you can enter the user ID password. So this is for them who are practicing on a test SAP services. Okay, but as I told you that I'll be giving you the real-time experience. Okay, how the client system has, that I'm going to give you, because there are number of other YouTube YouTubers who provide all the data from SAP services or Northwind services or some different test OData services. I don't want to again go with all those things. I want to show you the real-time experience only. Now in the system, this is configured by your BTP administrator, which I was telling you. Okay, so they tell me that you have to use so and so from this drop down. So I'll be using this abap-cloud of an abap, which connects to the SAP system. Okay, indirectly. From here it connects to the BTP. From there it connects to the backend systems. And during your whole configurations, this one you should be again little bit patient, because though on fast internet also I saw that it takes time. Okay, circling and it will take time. Okay, now it connected to the system. Now it is, these are the services which are exposed in the backend by the OData developer. Okay, so I have a number of services I can use it. So for example, I just have a project tab, project BND or tab. Let me just check. Yeah, project tab. So this is one OData service which contains company code, project related details, all those things, product budgeting details where I'm working currently. So I select that, and that OData is V2 only. So if it is showing as V4, ask your OData developer that still we have to use V2 only, because V4 OData version 4 is under experimental basis only. So please use V2, because V4 I found little bit of issues. Again, it depends on your test experience only where you are going to use it. I click on next here. View. Okay, view name. You can choose any view name. As this is a demo application, I just put the view one only, and I click on next. This is yet another important thing where you have to use your module name, application namespace, project folder path, which are very, very important. I don't want to touch this project one, let it be as it is. Other things are like application namespace. I'll just use like I'll try to use com.myapp. Okay, so with this namespace only, when you deploy the application to the BTP, there you can see in the HTML5 applications that this exists, com.myapp. I'll just use the demo one. Okay, let me copy this one, so that during my search I can see the same thing there as well. Okay, I'll just copy like this. Okay, now here make sure that project folder path will be /home/users projects, and it is sitting, my current Fiori application sitting in this under this Z demo app one only. And take the latest versions only, whatever latest is there, you can take 1.97 is latest. Okay, every couple of weeks the version goes on changing. In the web ID, if you have web ID experience, you might be working on the 1.5 max, and on the cloud you might be working on 1.7 max. But in the BAS studio, every latest version whatever is coming in the demo kit, so that will be reflected here. Okay, complete latest versions. You can go into your SAP FI demo kit. I just had a shortcut link, so you can see the latest versions are there on the top. On the right side you can see 1.97.2. so that only you can go with without any problem. You can go and also use the latest version only. Now add deployment config to MTA project. Yes, I want to add a deployment project. Add Fiori Launchpad config. Yes, I want to add a Fiori configure advanced options? No. Okay. So if you select this, what happens? It will ask you like theme. What is the theme? So latest theme is Quartz Lite as of now. This is, you know, in the Jan 2022. It is Quartz Lite. If you are seeing my YouTube video after 4 months or 5 months, there can be a new theme coming in. There can be new versions coming in. Okay. It depends again. So I don't want to configure any advanced options. Let everything be running as it is. There are other things also. The terminology, like you know, as I said, YAML is there. Okay, mtar. Okay, tar, zip, and you can even see something like, you know, ESLint, ESLint, JavaScript. So these are all words, which buzzwords, which might, you know, get confuse you. But time being, you just move on with, you know, things, because all at a time you cannot learn. And few things are there till today. When I'm working for past 6 months, I might not understand some of the terminology, but just ignore them. Click on next. So deployment configuration, like it asks you where you're going to deploy. So I'm going to deploy on the Cloud Foundry. As I told you that there is a Cloud Foundry and Cloud Foundry only in the BTP. There is no Neo version. So in the Cloud Foundry, what you need to do, just by the default Cloud Foundry, and destination name, what my BTP administrator told me to just use the second link. I'm using second link, okay, because it sits in the ABAP Cloud ABAP portal dev u3 dev, okay, and there this application, whatever I'm deploying, this application can be accessible. This application with few more, you know, things will be added to it and dots removed. This application will sit in this particular ABAP Cloud ABAP. Let me write that one, ABAP Cloud ABAP with the portal dev u3 and dev. Okay, it goes on into that one. I'll show you that where it gets deployed. Click next. And finally, the semantic object navigation. This is very, very important. I told you, like your application might be a standalone one. It will be having a navigation. If it is having a navigation, when you click on that, how it enters into another developer's tile UEFI application. So tile to tile navigation. So it happens, tile to tile navigation happens through the semantic object only. That code also I'll give you. Semantic, let us say, for example, S2 underscore demo 1, for example. Okay, and action always when you are navigating, it will be display only. So this you can navigate it from here to the next environment. Display title will be like Z demo app. Deployment, I don't guarantee, but I'll just show you how you deploy to some extent, because my client might not accept deployments, normal demo deployments. Okay, it depends, because it is all in the agreement. Now, when I click on finish, you can see that YAML file got created. You can see a project one, which, you know, when I select the application, Fury application freestyle, then at that time that name is there. And then when I expand it, you can see node modules are there and web app is there. Node modules, it's again a different concept where there are something like terminal, and where you're going to type the code for deploying kind of thing. And also you have graphical deployment also, like how right click and you can do all those things. I'll show you. Then web app is where you are a little bit familiar with your web ID structure. That structure will be there here: controller, CSS, I8, and local service, model, test, utils, and views. It is normal thing. And again, component.js, index.html, manifest.json are the 3 things which you already see in your web ID part. So I don't want to open this. Few things you should be a little bit careful, because single click will automatically open the file on the right side, and when you write the code, it gets auto saved, because that feature is enabled. So these things are a little bit what to say, which you did not see in the web IDE. Those things will come into picture, and it might little bit irritate you, okay, when you are working. Okay, but you should get adapted to this tool. Okay, by regularly opening for a couple of weeks now, you get adapted to this. Now you can even see the UEFI.yaml and UEFI local YAML. There are 3 places. I mean, I don't want to discuss that, where neo-app.js in the web ID is now is called as XS, extended service -app.js, XS-app.js. In that, you are going to see your ABAP Cloud ABAP. This connects to your BTP. Okay, that is what I want to tell you. Fine. So let me close all these things. Now, without opening any of the thing, I want to execute my application. You can do number of ways are there. Okay, so how you do it in your web IDE. So similar is there, like on the project one. Okay, you can right click on that, and you can see here preview application. Okay, you don't see any run as kind of thing. You see preview application, and you should select the start with open index.html, and it runs here. Okay, this is called as a terminal. Okay, so this terminal, first time pop-up blockers will be there, and it opens in another tab here. Okay, because there's a pop-up blocker. Now let me again right click and click on preview application, and this one. This is one way of executing the application. Some are familiar with this, some use this this option. Few others use few other options. I'll tell you that also. Yeah, so nothing is there, it's all white, and you see on app title here. Okay, this is very simple and very first application with minimal coding is there, zero coding. Okay, not code anything, it just opened here. And you know, don't close this one. If you close this one, this gets, you know, page gets, you know, outdated. Okay, when you close this one, you can see, oops, by mistake I refreshed the this one there. So when you refresh this page, what happens? You see this page is not working. You get this kind of message. So don't close that. Whatever I told you, don't close that one. Okay. So if you know you are a little bit not familiar with the BAS Studio and addicted to the Web IDE, for those, if you don't want to see that, you know, the one which is coming. So right click here, preview application. So those who don't want to see this terminal, okay, don't want to see this terminal, there's another way where you can execute an application. See, it is running now. So if I close this, for example, let it generate. So it will be, you know, getting all the libraries into it. So if I close this one, and you can see when I refresh, the page goes off. So other way of executing the application is that on the left side, you can see the number of icons here. I'll make you familiar with all these icons as well. So let us, you know, have something like a play button here. It is called as a debug. I'm sorry. There's a run configuration button here, a play button kind of thing, not that, this one. So let me click on that. Now you can see three things here. Start project one, mock, local. Okay, I don't want this local or mock. You can delete those two things. You can delete those two things. Okay, so some of you might not find this at all. Okay, so in that case, you can click on this plus button. You can select that. Okay, you can select that particular thing, and you can select the latest version, and you can skip the part, and you can move on. So why what I did right now, just now, is like, for example, if this is not there, project one is not there. So in some of your cases, some of your, you know, applications, this might not be there. It's not going. Okay, so nothing is there. It's completely blank. Okay, it's completely blank. So what you need to do, you need to, for example, let me, you know, show you clearly. This configuration won't be there. Yeah, you will be fine. You find something like this, no configurations found. Okay, complete empty, like, and you have a button create configuration. It's need not, that's not a problem. You can click on create configuration, same thing. So from here you will see something like project one. It's all with the mouse click only, and choose the latest version and skip. Okay, use configuration from YAML file. These things you will understand slowly when you practice, I told you. And here you can just press enter button, and then again something will come here like project one, and a play button will come here. Okay, so you just click on the play button, and you have to wait. Okay, there are some ports like 8080 or some ports which are 4 to 5 ports are given here, which will be open, and your application will be executing in that particular port. Okay, so sometimes what happens, your all the ports will be completely occupied. At that time you need to unexpose those ports as well. So I'll tell you how to do that as well. So why I'm doing this, because if you open the application, you don't want that which is coming from the bottom, that you don't want, you by mistake closed it. No, your application gets closed. Okay, this is only other alternate which I'm telling you, which if you want you can use it. It's up to you. Okay, it's not that it's mandatory. It's up to you. But the output will be same as how you saw that in the previous preview application kind of. There's no run as kind of option like you have in your web IDE tool. Okay, so it opens in a slightly different way. Like you are going to see that on the top, that these are all semantic pages which you must be familiar with. Okay, pages, semantic pages, or shell app kind of terminology in the view where you should be a little bit familiar with. Okay, so BAS Studio is not a tool for newbies, though at the same time those who suddenly are exposed to the BAS, there is no other way, because after in 2020 to 2023, if you're coming past out your graduation, now you should be working as a UFI developer, so you don't find any web IDE tool at that time. BAS is only tool. Okay, so at that time you don't know the meaning of shell or semantic pairs or normal pairs kind of thing, but you should just go through your seniors what they said, or your previous developers who have worked. You should get a little bit of knowledge. Okay, so those who are in current year and the web IDE transition between that web IDE and BAS application studio, then you should move on. Okay, fine. That is what I'm saying here. Now if you close this, you won't see that something gets paged out. Okay, so that is another thing, because that debug mode, or that application is running in the port itself. A port gets opened, as I told you. It goes on executing that. Okay, you have more space here. Now again, you have to switch back to your file icons here. That's called as Explorer. Okay, now you expand it. Now you expand the view. Now the other thing is that even if you right click and preview application, or you open this one, beautiful thing is that when you start coding here, for example, I told you single click, don't go on double clicking it, just click on single click. Okay, it's like a smooth experience you will get it when you adapt to this business application studio, but it will be irritating in the very starting days, that is for sure. And most of them experience this one, but they are very happy a little bit later when you get adapted to this. Okay, now if you see, when I in the content, you just sometimes you don't find a auto close thing kind of experience which you experience in the web IDE, but you have to go on coding. Now you can see, when I type something in the view, I am changing something in the view, your application, this goes on getting refreshed. What is the meaning of that? That means it will try to apply the changes immediately. Okay, that's what I want to say. So if I put something like a text, for example, object status is there, and I have something like a text which I say as like welcome to BAS Studio, and I just put something like state is something like information. And if you go here to the output, and you need to wait a little bit, and you can see that how it is appearing on the screen. So this is how you can see that it is said, okay, welcome to BAS Studio. So this is very starting basics of how you practice a little bit, you start your application. So as I was telling, it's not semantic page, sorry, it is shell app only, because we are taking the SAP FA application, I'm sorry, but that gives you a semantic page kind of feel on the top. Okay, because when you click on this button, I'm not sure, it is navigating to the back. It must go to a tile. It is not going now. Let us look at that later. Now this is what you have your little applications here. Other thing is, like in the controller will be normal, like how you see in your web IDE tool. You have a onIt function, little bit of colorful will be there here, and you'll get this kind of message like ESLint extension will use so and so kind of thing. Okay, you no need to read all those things. You just click on allow if you want, or if you think it's something like negative kind of thing. So it's like all kind of what do you say, pop-ups you are going to see, which you might not understand, but just click on uh, sensibly on that particular affirmative buttons. Now you can see that every line when you are going to write that if does not contain any ID, it goes on shouting at you like, no, you put an ID. Okay, so IDs will be auto generated. For example, you can just generate an ID automatically. It gets generated one way. If you don't want that to be, bothering you, that if you don't put ID, you should not get that red kind of marks. No, you can just switch it off in your manifest.json. You can just go and search for something like a flex, which is true, which you need to make it false. Flex enable, you make it false, and also you should refresh your this one, okay, browser, BAS Studio. You see even here when you are writing something, for example, there is a dot appearing here. Okay, for example, you can see a dot appearing and it vanishes. Okay, that means dot means something get edited, and the vanishing means it is saving automatically. Auto save feature is enabled here. You no need to go on pressing Ctrl S as you did in Web IDE. So it is again a new feature, but irritating in the starting, but getting adapted in the future. Okay, sometimes when you see that you're typing something here and the dot appears, but it does not go. Okay, it will be there itself even after 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So you should be very cautious at that time. It happens a little bit regularly in the BAS Studio. That means you are being logged out here. You should again refresh the page. Okay, so thing is that you should save all your changes. You cannot save it, so you should, what you do, open a notepad, copy all the code here or in the control wherever you are actually currently working on, copy all the code there. When you again come back, you paste all the things there. Okay, this happens regularly. It is another not a welcome feature, but you should get ready for that as well. That is the reason you should use the Git regularly. Okay, Git is another story which you should configure all these things, which I will let you know. Sorry. So what we want to do is that quickly we'll have a simple smart table here. I don't want to explain few things which are missing here in the, for example, manifest.json is there. This does not have a development what do you say editor. It has only a coding editor, and view is there, which has a layout editor itself is there, but rarely you go into layout editor if it's a very big application. Use the build me tool, for example, to build a prototype, and you can copy that code into here. So that also will help you build me tool, which I'm saying. Now what I do, I go into the manifest.json again, and I just want to show you that there is a service. It is there. The service is there. It is a main service, and it does not have any named model. It is a default model. You can see, okay, it is empty. Okay, directly you can use that here. So where to use that one, how to show some data there. I want to use a smart table. How can I use that one? I will show you those things here. So smart tables are very easy to implement, but a little bit difficult to customize them. Okay, that is the main positive sides and the negative sides of a smart controls. Okay, let me go into the demo kit first. Let me go into the sample section and search for the smart table. Here in the smart table, so any smart table with the very basic level of smart table, you can open that. You can copy the code. Okay, you can copy the code here. So I'll copy the code from end to end here inside the VBox. Whatever is there, I'll just copy that into here. So what you need to change is that wherever smart filter. Okay, so even this smart filter bar, whatever is there, and all these things, you should copy that namespace also. So a little bit it should be on the top control name, MVC display block XML namespace, and MVC smart filter bar, smart table HTML app. You copy everything. Okay, you don't worry about what actually is that, whether it is safe copying. All those things need not worry, because time and now when you go on working on them, you get adapted to it. I told you. So when you're copying it, large number of things at a time you copy, you get a red color underline there. Okay, so that means you have it's already there. It's a duplication. Okay, fine. Now we'll start the entity sets and the control keys, where you can see that this is for that particular line item set for the SAP services. Now my OData service, which it is there. So what actually is the OData service for my application? I need to go and check what is the entity set. What is service here? UNP project tab. Okay, I have it given by my client. I need to check it. Display. Yeah, this is what I think so. Let me copy this into a browser on the tab here. So if something goes wrong here, no, it does not show anything because we put something in the view, copy pasted. Okay, it got a little bit confused. Okay, and it went into the main page. Sometimes it will give error message also here if it cannot find any service. It happens. Okay, fine. See, you got something like here, but it did not find anything here. Everything got built up. So what I do here is that I will further copy the entity set name. Hope you know that after service you get entity set here. I'll copy that entity set name here and basic search field name. So smart filter bar is also there with the smart table. Smart table is there here. Here this is smart table, and these are all filter bars. Okay, what are filter bars? I'll discuss that also. So this filter bar contains two filters here. So I also want to have two filters. Let us have PSPID filter here. So key I just copied as this. Basic search is PSPID, and I don't want this select option kind of thing. So I will comment it. Control / is for comment. Default filter values, it is saying no. I'll just remove this default filter values which I don't require now. I'll just remove everything instead of commenting. And another key I want to use it here is another thing. What values are there here? Let us say PR CTR profit center. I think so. So profit center, let me copy it here and I'll remove this default filter values. And let me go down here. Layout data used to make the table going, but the filter bar fixed. Okay, let it be. I don't want that. Yeah. Now here in the table, this is smart table. Okay, this smart table entity set, I'll be using the same entity set. Zero coding in the controller. Okay, no need, but few things are there in the controller you should handle. I'll tell you what they are. So in the smart table, you find like 7 to 10 properties which you should, be using regularly. So what it says, like entity set, I have smart filter ID, smart filter bar. This smart filter bar ID should match with this smart filter ID. Okay, and entity set should match. Why, I'll tell you. Table type is a table, normal table. Use export Excel. Yes, I want that. Before export, on before export, and use variant management true. Yes, I want. Personalization also I want. Header is line items. I don't want this. I want project budget details. Show row count. Yes, I want row count. Persistence case, it is there. Enable true class. Enable auto column width. Why it is giving that unknown key attribute? Okay, might be it is deprecated or not used. Let it be. It does not need not bother. Edit toggleable. I'm not sure what it is. You can just search in the API reference. Let everything be as it is. Okay, so I think so. Now the table and the smart filter bars are ready. Let us go here. Let us go back or refresh this, because there is a pop-up which restricted it from showing something. So if everything is good, so when during the smart table or this kind of build, you need to have the console ready on the right side, because things get worse when you go on adding the code. This is all copy paste of code. You have to do it here. Time being practice in the BAS studio. So if you ask me, like, will there not be any customizing code or code manual coding? Yes, it will be there also. That also you should be working on. Now I'll see it's saying there are no columns selected for your table. Okay, no problem. Default how to put the values also I'll tell you. Let us time being just click on the close button. I think is there here. Now you can see here when I click on this circle, you can see, yeah, these are all coming from the backend only. So I can select artist code, artist name, like company code, or kind of thing label. I can just click on OK and click on go, and the values must appear here. So everything is good. Yeah, you can see all the values are coming here. This is how a smart table comes here, and filters are there. I have put two filter bars here, a PSPDP, but I'm not sure why they are not showing up here. I think there must be something added here. Visible, I think so. Visible, no, sorry. Here, control concentration key. Visible in advanced area. Yes, I need to make it true. That is the reason it is not showing up there. There are a number of properties which you can go on putting here. So this is all configuration part which you're going to do. And you can you if it is a pop-up box, you should use this also. Uh, and you can see that and you can see that project number is there and profit center is there populated as F4. And you can see this is the structure automatically developed by the framework. Okay, you don't need to write any code for this. It is controlled from the back end only. Now, if you see here, these two things, project number, profit center, are called as smart filter bars. Okay, they come directly. No need to write any single line of code here or in that particular controller. Zero code in the controller. So, but my suggestion is that you need to practice all these things at a very later stage, not in the earlier stages of your EFI application development. In the earlier stages, you have to be perfect with all the controller coding or view coding. These are at a higher level. Okay, so after you come across all the experience levels, then only when you enter into the higher level, then these are the main important things. You should be flexible, working with this as well at a higher pace. Okay, I don't recommend this for a fresher, because if a fresher or if a newbie starts understanding writing the smart controls, he will lose the expertise in the UIFI development part. Okay, that should be very clear. Now if you see here, this smart table and where and this let me have you can even add columns by default. That also I'll show you. So you can just add, for example, like artist code and profit center. For example, two things I have added. Now I told you that, click on the go. Yeah, I told you that this smart filter bar and this smart table must be interlinked. Where it is linked here, it is linked with this ID. You can see the smart filter ID. So this table is asking for what is the link happening with the smart filter. So it is saying that this ID you have to refer. These both should be same. So when they are same, now for example, this is the profit center. You search for this, for example, DE. So this you enter it here, or you can just even open this pop-up and click on go and click on OK here and click on OK. Click on go here. Now you can see only that particular items will be populated. Okay, why? How this is happening? This is happening because of the linkage between the smart table and the smart filter. Now you can even add the default columns in the very starting when you see that you're not getting any columns. That also you can do it by adding a table here. Okay, you can add that table as well. So for those things, you can refer even your demo kit, because you don't write manual code. You have to go on referring to the code here. Okay, how these are populated without I copied the same code. You can ask me like, I copied the same code, there's no table here. How can you do that? That is also possible, because here one of the property you can see here. Let me a little bit see. Yeah. So there will be a property initially visible fields. Initially visible fields. Okay. Here you can just mention what fields you are initially you want to show. Okay. You can show this PSPID field, comma. You can show this profit center field, and you can go on showing them initially. This is called as initially visible fields for the for the I mean the OData service properties. You can check it in the entity set. You get all the properties. So visibly you can open few fields. Okay, post one and vbooker. Bookers may basically is the nothing but a company code in the SAP terminology. Some stat. Okay, so I opened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 fields I have opened. Those things you can see it here. Let me refresh. Now your client will ask you to show some fields initially in the mockup screen. They will ask you, so I want so and so fields, or you can put some 3 or 4 fields. You can see here project number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns initially they are provided by you. Okay, you have given that. Okay, sometimes you can even have a property called as ignore. I don't remember the property name. Yeah, ignore fields or ignore from personalization. Ignore fields. So you want any field to be ignored from showing, you can do that one as well. Okay, that is another thing. Next, there is a property called as live update. Let me cross check here. Live update. Yeah. So when this table refreshes, I mean, the browser or the app is open, then automatically you can see that the data is getting fetched from the back. Okay. Sometimes client asks you not to show that. Okay, I don't want that by default, only when I click on the go button. Most of the clients I saw that they will be, they won't want the data to be loaded here, because what happens here, you can see there are like 5,000 records are there. There can be like 5 million records. Okay. At a time, it will take a lot of time. They want some filters to be put, then only the data gets populated. Okay, that also is done. Okay, so to do that, you need to make the live update. Something is there like let me cross check. Initial. Okay, so let me check it in the demo kit for this particular control smart table. Let me directly go into the API reference. There's something like live update false. That kind of wording will be there for the property. I don't remember that because we basically have a lot of properties for this. So let me cross check. Current variant, customized, demand pop-in, editable. Type header level, ignore fields. I told you initially visible fields. I told you initial no data person escape. Show full screen. Live mode, yes, it is for the smart filter bar. Okay, live mode is false. I even see for the table also. I'm not sure why I'm not unable to do that. Let me check what is this live mode false. If it is a default one false, then if it is not for the table, then I'll show you some other thing where you can make filter bar filter control mandatory. Sorry, this one mandatory. Okay, it is not working. So let me make this mandatory. Okay, unless until somebody gives here that, then only this table runs. Okay, that kind of thing also we can do it. So we need to make the profit center like mandatory. Okay, mandatory true. We make it mandatory as sorry, it is mandatory. Now what happens, forget about this live mode is false. So I'm making the profit center as true. Now let us see. We should not get any data here. The table, the data to the table stops, but until unless you give some profit center here. Yeah, you can see that the data, this table is not populating. Now invalid entry you're seeing here. Unless until you move, you cannot even click on get data even on click on go. Here you need to select any. No, this is the one what I'm looking for, and this is what you have to also give, because unless until you don't make it mandatory, there can be many number of records in production also, if you can see. So there is no records with profit center with this number, so you can go back and you can cross check with other numbers which earlier I think I just pasted here. No, it's not there. With some B, I think we have checked, so let me click OK and click OK here as well. So like this, we can, you can even export this to Excel. So you can click on that button. This is automated. Okay, you don't write any code, zero coding, as I told you. You can just click on that export to Excel. That also you can hide or show. So that also goes there, and you can open that. You can check it there. So export to Excel will be default to true. So you can make it false, and that button goes off from there. Okay, that is also there. And display or edit, these kind of things also default, you can see, click on edit. And so who is doing that? This is controlled by the framework. You don't need to write anything there here. That is controlled by the framework, but most of the clients does not like this. You need to hide this, and this one, and also the one what I shown you, like make something mandatory. Okay, even if they does not know, you need to tell the client that will make them feel mandatory, because a lot of data can be pulled in the production when it goes to production, like millions of records, and the table becomes very slow. Okay, so here on the top you can see not only this tool which you have made visible, you can even go to the filters here, and you can add these filters, few more filters if you want. This can be added. Okay, most of the clients know this. You can even educate them that to use so and so kind of thing. So one more is there, like there can be a expand and collapse button here. This comes with the smart filter bar. I don't remember the name. Let me cross check here in the API. Smart variant, I think so. That is what we need to use it. Let us just deep dive here and check it. Okay, it's not there here. Okay, we'll do one thing. In the next session, we'll see how we move on with the developing this table. So few more things, what client requirement, what client ask. Okay, sometimes client ask like, I want this particular first column to be fixed. Okay, so I don't want that to be changed by the end user, or kind of thing. So, or I want that as a link. Okay, I don't want this to be a normal thing. I want a link, project number of profit center, for example. I want a link. When I click on that, something must pop up, kind of thing. Okay, so you can make that also. At that time, you need to take this table, you need to add a separate table inside this smart table. Okay, from that onwards, we can move on. Okay, so that all we discuss in another session, which I will publish it. Okay, as of now, this is what you have to be using on a higher level. Okay, so you can even deploy this application whenever. I told you, like so process of deployment is very simple. Right click on the empty YAML file and click on build MTA project. When you click on build MTA project, you can see that there is a folder gets created here on the left side. So in the form, like MTA underscore archives, and you can see mtar file here. Now, once this gets created, you can download this and you can give it to your manager or anybody who is handling this operations, and he or she can move that to the quality. Okay. Now, that is one way. Another thing is that directly deploying, you can directly deploy the MTA archive. When you deploy this MTA archive, it is shown in the cloud BTP. Okay, that also I'll show you, but test samples I'll show you, because this is a client system. I cannot show you those deployment here. So this is the procedure, and after deploying, it will take some time. What are changes you make here? You need to, at the end of the day, you have to build it. So two steps will be there: build MTA project, and then Once this mtar gets updated, you have to deploy it. These are the 2 steps. So any doubts, you can just message me in that, and we can move on further. You can call me. I'll give you a mobile number. So any doubts you can let me know. So this is a simple thing which I have shown you, though for the first time users it may be complicated, but try to practice and it will be easy for you. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you.